Ross Jones, 9th position is the ball coming in, and for the first time they get sideways on the exit, and on the power once again. Rob Cull streaks down at the start finish almost straight. Then in second place, I believe that's going to be Babak Farjan will cross the line. It is indeed. The 24 car was in amongst the chaos, but apparently managed to get going, whereas Ross Jones did not. Then you'll find Mortimer, Greenhill, Cawthorne, Ashworth, Merry and Ross Jones. He did make up a position exiting Nelson. He's now into 8th. That's 7 positions lost as a result of whatever happened on that first lap and the start getaway. Into turn 2 at Wilson they go once again then. It's still Rob Cull that leads. His margin a little bit less than it was at the end of the pit straight, however. So as you'd expect, the MGB working very well through these quick flowing corners, able to fling it in, and it will just stick. The 450 of Mortimer is beginning to come under a little bit of pressure in his Healy. That is Tim Greenhill behind in the all-yellow MGB Roadster. Closing in. Tim Greenhill looks to the inside as they break down for Agostini. Can he get that one done? The answer, I think, was no, not quite. He'll fire at the other side. He's got to settle for 4th position as it stands, and he will be trying to make progress because immediately a gap begins to form now. It's Rob Cull, then about 6 or 7, maybe even more car lengths before you meet Babak Farjan, and then double that gap before you see the entire rest of the field, it would seem, in 3rd position. At least a good 6-7 cars there together as a group, led by Mr. Mortimer in the Austin Healy. Team Greenhill again carries a lot of speed through Williams, gets onto the back straight well. But the question is, can he get alongside by the time they reach Nelson? It's going to be very tricky. Slipstreaming to the inside he goes. He gets closer. He's got to be brave on the brakes here and hope that he carries the round. On that lap, a brilliant lap for Mark Ashworth as he gains up towards 3rd in Class 3 and 3rd overall. Then you'll find Mortimer leading Greenhill, leading Cawthorne. Atkins gained a couple of positions last time as well, and Neil Merry in the red and green Alfa Romeo is down to 9th position after an initially lightning start in amongst all of the chaos. Further back in the pack, is anybody trying a little look at an overtake? Well, the 131 car, that's Clayson. He did manage to get past Hibbard and Kirkby and Henny last time round, but he's got a lot of pressure coming back from Hibbard as the slipstream train goes up towards turn 1. The front is already heading towards Agostini, and Tim Greenhill has found a way through on the Healy now. So Greenhill finds himself into 4th position. He's got to try and close up on Mark Ashworth, however, in that red car with the blue stripe down the middle of it. He's making good progress, and you can see how much that Austin was holding everybody up in that battle for 3rd position, because immediately everybody that gets past him streaks on through. In fact, there is a rather large train beginning to form there. Now, Ross Jones remained 8th during that lap. He did pass Mary's Alfa Romeo, but he was also passed by Atkins. So as they all push each other wide, the momentum swings the way of whoever wasn't initially involved in the fight, takes the racing line, cuts on through as the leaders. They're in the braking zone now. They go through the quick left, balance it on the nose, balance it, then hard. across the line they come to complete yet another lap. Rob Cull is out by 4. Head on to the left. This time round. Gordon's having done all but follows his tyre tracks exactly in second place. Third is Ashworth. The gap was 6/10 last time. This time it is 1 second, but it came down in the second part of that lap, really. Despite Greenhill coming under a lot of pressure from the 183 of Lee Atkins. So there's a couple TVRs, a couple MGBs at the front of this field. Then you'll find Mortimer in Lee Healy, still keeping it big. Mary and Ross Jones, who lost the position at the end of that lap to the recovering Alfa Romeo. So they're having a brilliant scrap as this one develops. Tim Greenhill, he's not managed to keep that position at the hairpin either, so he's showing good pace to catch up to the top 3, but Atkins is showing better places. He moves on forwards in the all-white machine. Can Greenhill do anything about it? He's closing just a little bit on the run down towards Agostini. He's been late on the brakes there before, he's late on the brakes there once again, but he can't quite get his nose to the inside, so he has to sit behind, make do with that position as it stands. Rob Cull leads, and he's continuing to get that gap stable against Babak Farjan and bigger against the squabbling cars behind. I have to feel a little bit sorry for everybody that's stuck behind this Healy because they are still very close together. That's going to be a potentially brilliant cutback from Neil Mary in his Alfa Romeo. He was on the outside entering Augies. He gets back to the inside. He's shown the outside defensive line. He'll try and carry the speed, however, as he attempts to recover against. It's going to be Cawthorne up ahead of him. They'll reach that back straightaway now where the Alfa Romeo is looking for a more strong. Will be even more scary than it is before. Here comes Rob Cull then to complete lap number 4. Last time around, perfect lap. This time around, he goes quicker once again. He's 8 tenths faster than anyone else on the circuit at this stage. Then it's Babak Farjan. Clark Ashworth's behind that. Didn't have the pace to Babak Farjan on that lap, so the gap between second and third increasing. Atkins is eventually got past Tim Greenhill. He is beginning now to close on Ashworth and indeed everybody except the leader with a brilliant 2:23.4 that time around. Through the hairpin. Same radius as Parabolica. And the final corner at Monza, designed to be as such from the circuit, was added to earlier on in this century. And then they break down in towards Agostini. Tim Greenhill, he's trying to stay with Atkins here, use the toe to get onto the back of Mark Ashworth's TVR. They'll flick it left through Hamilton, which looks very quick from these machines. Then on the brakes, and Atkins is the man on the mission here. The gap to Mark Ashworth was half a second at the beginning of this lap. It is certainly not that anymore as they come through Williams, get onto the back straight. He's got so much more speed, so much more traction on the exit of that one. He's able to turn tighter, get on the power earlier. Ashworth appears to have a little bit more grunt in the straight line, so he'll regain the advantage that he has. It's just half a car length. They trade, flicking left. Allows Atkins to close on up to that time in He's holding it there, trying to use that superior running rhythm so earlier on. He's got to the inside from Murray, two of them neck and neck, squeezing onto the grass. They've just about, I think there was a bit of door-to-door rubbing, but they've avoided big contact there, the pair of them, and but somehow they've both made the corner, and somehow Ashworth is still ahead of Atkins along the pit straight. They're both slow. Here comes Tim Greenhill in the old yellow MGB Roadster. He's closing all the time, closing to the inside. It reaches. He's not quite brave enough for that one, and then he's back out of it. So Greenhill stays fifth. Atkins fourth, Ashworth third. Not for a lack of trying. Again, Atkins is going aggressive. Ashworth defends to the inside at Wilson corner. It's going to be a long way around for Ashworth, because he's been shown the cutback there, which will be brilliant for Atkins if it weren't for the pure grunt of Ashworth, who once again on the straight just about gets his nose and his rear end ahead by the time they reach the quick left-hander of turn number 3, and still Mark Ashworth holds at bay the attacks and attempts of Atkins and Tim Greenhill behind. Atkins now trailing what almost looks like a wedding ribbon behind his machine as he breaks down in towards Agostini. Is there an opportunity there? No, not quite. I don't think. Oh, there was on the exit. Brilliant then, just out of view for us. So Atkins up past Mark Ashworth, who is now going to have to deal with the onslaught that's no doubt about to come from the brilliant Tim Greenhill in the yellow MGB Roadster. It's still Rob Cull out front from Babak Farjan. This is the battle for third that Atkins now leads from Mark Ashworth and Tim Greenhill. Now, how far ahead can Atkins get? Because we've seen the grunt of Mark Ashworth on this back straightaway. It's about a car length or so, maybe two, between them as they get onto the Bentley straight. Ashworth will close some more. The closing speed is rapid there. He's to the inside, he's all the way through, I think, by the time he's in the braking zone. But that's great for the man to show forever. The left through Brundle, and it's still Atkins outside, but just about managed to get that car turned in and stopped. And Ashworth is right out of pressure once again. Atkins venting the car of Ashworth. Pushing a little bit too hard. He's wide, and to the inside comes Tim Greenhill's MGB. Ashworth was side by side a lap ago, had a bit of contact with Gorham. This time it's all clean as Tim Greenhill finds his way through the inside of Gorham, and it's all done when they reach Murray Corner. So on that lap, Atkins down to lost position. Ashworth down to Atkins and Tim Greenhill's MGB Roadster. That is assuming that along the pitch straight, the grunt of his TVR can't do anything about it. Here he comes. Across the timing line they go. He's getting closer still. Looking in the mirrors is Tim Greenhill, but he's not able to get his nose alongside before they reach the turning point. In amongst all of that, our pole man, Ross Jones, was running 9th, was managed to get himself up to 6th now, repassing the Alfa Romeo. Mary, increasing pressure from the treble 3 up Peter Smith. Smith was also start chaos, so he was initially third on the grid, and by the end of the last lap he too was languishing in the bottom section of that top 10. Mark Ashworth isn't done yet, because although he may not have the corner speed, he's managed to stay there with Tim Greenhill by the time they reach Palmer Corner. Then it's a straight where of course Ashworth has the advantage, and he'll close towards Agostini, but he's not able to put the nose alongside on the brakes. He's going to have to do it with exit speed, with an end of straight speed, with top speed, and at the moment he's going to be lurking there by the time they reach the Bentley straight, I'll tell you that, because it's only a car length separates himself in fourth position. Tim Greenhill, Atkins' white TVR is just escaping a little bit to the margin of a couple of tenths every corner or so as the pair behind scrap for what is now fourth position. In terms of speed pace, fantastic from Rob Cull. He was 6/10 of a lap quicker than Babak Farjan last time around. Babak able to lap on par with Atkins behind. Here comes Mark Ashworth to the inside. Couldn't quite make it stick again. Atkins, but he's once again ahead. We see Ashworth got it done. So here comes Mark Ashworth. He's back ahead of Tim. Mega in the bottom of the last time around. He'll have to go over again. Ashworth deep on the previous lap. This time Mark is absolutely nailed it. He'll maintain that position against the yellow MGB Roadster that stalks him behind. Here comes Greenhill. Greenhill's closing. He's looking to the inside. Ashworth's seen that one before. This time round he comes it off, not allowing that late plunge that got Atkins thrown in just a number of laps ago. It is now Rob Cull leading by 4.5 seconds from Babak Farjan. Then you find the 183 machine of Lee Atkins, now running a comfortable third. He's 3.5 seconds behind Farsian. He's 2.3 seconds ahead of Ashworth, who's still locked in a scrap with Tim Greenhill's yellow MGB. So is Mark Ashworth maybe beginning to state his claim for that position? Will have to be a mega in-field stitch. Be able to fight back over the coming laps. Towards Agostini, and it's a big advantage for Mark Ashworth actually at 1 with his rival behind. We've still got 12 minutes left in this one, although that is hard to believe given the amount of action we've had so far. Where is the leader? Something clear, 4.5 seconds. And as much as Ashworth looks as if he's closing, he'll have to be very quick to do so, because the fastest lap of the race last time round was set by third place Neil Perry has gone round just as we saw BMW do earlier on in practice with the Snetterton saloons. It's so easy to do, too much on entry to the Hamilton corner. Touch right to the The TVR has immediately gone straight across pit lane exit and pulled to the right-hand side of the circuit there. He's on the grass, he's somewhat out of the way, and he is now out of the car. So something has very abruptly gone wrong. He has been running third, out of the competition for this one. Babbitt Farsian could breathe a sigh of relief for a moment, but only for a moment, because the man who set the fastest lap of the race last time around, Mark Ashworth, is coming, a 2:21.549. Those guys are approaching class leaders. Rob Cully, leader, leading class 3. Class 4 is still being led by Ross right up there in that fight. He's sitting in lap times in the 2:23, so he's got the pace to be there. Of course, that initial kerfuffle on the start. Leader in class 4 still. Your leader in class 2, despite the spin, is Neil Merry in his Alfa Romeo, and your leader in class 1 is the 108 of Mark Turner in the Austin Healey Sprite. If you're looking out for that car, it is the blue Austin Healey Sprite. Track at the moment. Happening between the 14 and the 46 as well. That is Vincent Wiltshire. They are 12 and 13 in class 3. It appears to be just about that. Babbitt